Hello everyone, this is Kelly with The Well Life. In today's video, I'm going to share with you some techniques and some challenges that I learned. I took a course a few years ago and it was written by a Yale professor. It's called The Science of Well-Being. And so it was a 10-week course. And so they gave us challenges each week that were designed to kind of rewire what this package says here, rewire your thought process and your approach to defining and seeking happiness. So I thought I would share with you some of those challenges and some of those techniques and see if maybe they can't help you. So follow along in this video and see if you can get anything from this. Again, it was a course, 10 weeks that I took written by a Yale professor, and it's called The Science of Well-Being. Thanks for watching. In today's fast-paced world, many of us are constantly seeking ways to unlock true happiness and experience a sense of well being. The journey to finding joy is personal and unique one, often influenced by the interplay of psychology and our daily experiences. Understanding the psychology of well being is essential in navigating the complexities of our emotions and our thoughts. It involves cultivating a positive mindset, practicing gratitude, building resilience, and fostering meaningful connections with others. By delving into the depths of our inner selves, we can uncover the keys to unlocking lasting happiness. Measuring your joy can be a transformative process, allowing you to track your progress and celebrate your victories along the way. So, whether through journaling or mindfulness practices or engaging in activities that bring you joy, each step taken brings you closer to a more fulfilling and contented life. Remember, true happiness, it's not a destination, but of course, it's a journey. It's a journey of self discovery, journey of growth, embracing the beauty of the present moment. So embark on this path with an open heart and a curious mind, and let the psychology of well being guide you towards a life filled with joy and fulfillment. So, one of the first things they asked us to do in the course was to measure our happiness. And I'm going to have links in the description on where you can utilize these free tests that you can yourself measure your happiness and some other things that I will talk about here in this video. So just remember there's a link in the description if you're curious and would like to do any of this. But they ask us to measure our happiness when we started the course because then at the end they wanted us to go back and do it again, right, to see if there was any changes. So that was one thing here as I go through this is that when you can measure something, then you can definitively know whether there is a change or not. So this is kind of a neat thing. So take advantage of it if you would like, because first getting started is to kind of know where you are. Then if there's any progress made, you will be able to determine and see the definitive progress. So measure your happiness was the first thing that they had us to do. And then secondly, they wanted us to find out what our signature strengths were. So these are things that you are so super good at, but you probably don't really realize you are because they come so naturally. And so the second thing they wanted us to do was to realize and note what our signature strengths were. And there's a way to do that too. A link will be left in the description. So they asked us to get our signature strengths, make a list of them, and then they challenged us to mindfully use those strengths for the next week. And we had to write them down as we would use them daily. We would have to describe what we did in a way to use them. So that was kind of fun because like I said, a lot of us don't really realize that we're strong in an area because maybe it comes so naturally. And so we kind of let our strengths fall by the wayside, or we don't give ourselves as much credit as we actually should. So finding out what your strengths are and then finding ways to actually implement those in a very strong and dynamic way. And the point of this is because when you utilize your strengths and you realize that they're there and that you are good at them, it does increase your happiness. It does make you feel better. It does make you um, a concept of the fulfillment, is more there for you. So that was one signature strengths, which I thought was really neat. And then the next thing that they brought to our attention was something called savoring. And to me, this is sort of along the lines of gratitude, but savoring intensifies and it lengthens the positive emotions that come from doing something that you love. Because, right, we're all there again, sort of prone to kind of just, it's just, we kind of take advantage of like, oh, yeah, this is that and that and that. We just go through life so on autopilot that we're not really savoring moments that are truly um, fulfilling to us and that truly do make us feel good and make us feel happy. So they were teaching us the concept of savoring, which is just to step aside for a moment and review that thing that just happened. When you know that it's like, I'm happy in this moment, absolutely. Step aside for a moment and think to yourself, why do I feel so good? What is it about this moment that makes me feel so good? What is it about the moment that I appreciate? So that was a technique called savoring. And they asked us to track that, to when things came up in that week, um, they would say, write it down and write down how you savored the moment and what did you get from it. And then the other thing that they taught us about was journaling everyday gratitude. So a gratitude journal, right? And I do this and I've done this for many years now and I love it. But gratitude, we understand is a positive emotional state, right? And so, but if we there again take the time to recognize, to bring it to the forefront of our minds, like, dang it, I'm happy right now, and I am grateful for this particular thing or this particular moment or this particular person. So when you take the time to write these things down, you're bringing it to the forefront and you're making it more apparent in your mind. You're really trying to create basically the habitual thought process of I need to be grateful, right? It's the small things that really actually make you happy. And so when you stop and slow down enough to realize and to bring it to the forefront and to bring it into consciousness, then it becomes habitual and you do recognize the things that you're grateful for. And therefore, it increases your happiness. Okay, so another thing that they taught us was random acts of kindness. This seems very simple and very logical, yes, but how often do you intentionally do kind acts? Because we're all capable of it. We all do it. But when we do it, are we noting it? Are we intentionally doing it? We're not doing it out of guilt, right? We're not doing something kind because we think we have to. That's not the point. This is randomly wanting to be kind. And so they ask us to do that for one week, randomly do acts of kindness. And then they wanted us to write it down and say, how did it make you feel? What did you get from that? So I thought that was pretty neat. And because I think all of us are kind, right? At our core, we want to be. Sometimes the outside world, pushes us towards being more volatile and a little more irritated and not so kind at times. But this intention here is to do it, do those acts of kindness, be at who you really want to be at the core. And there again, the intention behind this is that it does increase your happiness. It will. make you more happy. And then the next thing that they taught us about was social connection. And all of us, I think, know this to a degree. And social connections are way better for us. I think they create a fuller, what I'm going to call a fuller life. Um, so, you know, those people, I believe that tend to not have solid um, connections that are uplifting and loving and caring. They are unhappy. They are. They may pretend that they're not, but they are. And so, um, there's research and there's studies, that show that social connections are very important. They can boost our mood, and they just make us, there's a sense of well-being that comes from social connections. So they wanted us to connect and to write down when we did intentionally connect with someone, whether it was a friend that week or going and seeing a parent or a sibling or a child or anything, to note how did that make you feel when you were intentionally engaged with your mom, your dad, your sibling, your child, your grandparent, a best friend, whatever. How did that experience make you feel? So they wanted us to note that, and therefore they were making us bring to the forefront to our consciousness the way we felt, and which hopefully was the boost of happiness, which was again true happiness, right? Not that just fleeting moment of happiness, but that true, contented, and meaningful happiness. Okay, so the next thing that they brought to our attention and that we discussed was exercise. And I know a lot of us will already know this, and we may say, "Oh, yeah, 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 I don't have time for that." But I just encourage with my clients. I say, you don't even have to use the word exercise, but it's more of just moving the body, right? And maybe increasing your heart rate a little bit, because there again, there's science, there's research, there's proof that movement and exercise of the body, it does boost your mood. It really and truly does. And there's absolutely health benefits, okay, to exercising or moving your body, getting out in nature, walking, whatever it might be. There's absolute benefits to that. So don't doubt in any way that there is. And whatever you can do, if it's just 5 minutes or 10 minutes, we were highly encouraged to do that, because it will play into happiness, into feeling better overall. Okay, the next thing that we did talk about again was sleep. And I think that the reason that you have to bring this up in a course like this is because in the world that we live in today, there's so much sleep deprivation. And that is a sad thing, because we almost want to ignore the fact of how important sleep is to our bodies, to our mental health. So they encouraged us to truly look at our sleep routines and to mindfully approach our sleep with intentional way, and to make note of how many hours we were getting, and did we feel as though our sleep was, good, solid, quality sleep, and how we were feeling day after day after day. So that made us take another week, and we would have to note how many hours and what it felt like to get good, quality, restful sleep. Because there again, the research shows it boosts your mood, it boosts your energy, it boosts your productivity. And overall, what does that do? It makes you feel better. So, okay. So then with all of that, a couple of things that they brought to our attention was the things that they wanted us to learn and understand. Was one thing was called hedonic adaptation. And they brought this to the forefront because what this basically means is that whether it be genetically or not, hedonic adaptation is getting used to something, where we just as humans we get used to something. So they brought this to the attention because I found this very, very interesting. Because I'm going to give an example of this hedonic adaptation. But say you got a raise at work, and it was a substantial raise, and you think, man, this is it. This is going to change my life, man. I'm just fixing to be so super happy when I get this raise. But the odds are you will get that raise, okay? And you will peak in that happiness, okay? You will peak in that feeling of, oh man, this is awesome, hot dang, I got this raise. But what you will ultimately do, human nature, what you will ultimately do is you will peak in that happiness, you will peak in that excitement, and then you will come right back down to the level of, say, happiness or contentment or whatever it was that you felt. You will come back to that level. So the peak or the excitement level will be temporary. And what I want to say by this is, because if we continually look to the outside world to increase our happiness, something outwardly, something out there, that new car, that raise, that a new watch, the new pair of shoes, the new outfit, if you're seeking that outwardly fulfillment, that will make me happy, that thing out there, it's not going to. It's hedonic adaptation. You're going to come back to, soon as that quote unquote newness wears off, the excitement will wear off. You're going to come back to that level of happiness that you were at prior to. But if you do these things that I've talked about, that this course is talking about, gratitude, sleeping well, um, connections. So you're looking more inward and you're saying, what is it that truly makes me happy? And my level of happiness can rise and can stay there when I do these internal things. So hedonically, you would then adapt to a higher level of happiness because you seek inwardly what your needs are instead of seeking them outwardly. And then the other thing that they mentioned was the aspect of miswanting. And that, again, is that outwardly thought, that outwardly seeking and wanting of this or that based on all of the things that were fed right by society, the new cars, the new clothes, the new watch, the new gadget, the new technology. Oh man, that's going to make me so happy. In the end, it won't. It won't. So it's called miswanting because we truly believe that that will make us happy, but it's temporary. And so, as this course is teaching us, it's saying go inside, seek what is meaningful and what will truly bring you happiness, what will truly increase your happiness, and make it to where you can move that scale, if you want to call it, that scale of happiness up and stay there. So by not seeking the outward things, the material things, seek more experience, seek love, seek true meaning, then then you become um, truly happy, and your adaptation, the level of happiness will increase, and it won't go back down, suddenly fall back to the same level that it was, because you've chosen to do more intentional seeking and more intentional wanting instead of materialistic wanting and such. So let's see. I hope I covered everything. I hope I didn't miss something. I was trying to run through this and not make it too long for you all. But please check out the the link that I made, and take these tests. Take these. They're free. Happiness scale, and then the one on your strengths, and see if that doesn't give you a guide. And then implement some of these other things that I talked about, and see if that doesn't help you achieve a life that will be more meaningful and bring you true happiness. So, this is Kelly with the Well Life, and I do thank you for watching. I hope this has been helpful to you. Remember, your lifestyle is a choice. Choose well.